The draw for the Asian competitions are now complete, so let's go through and check out the 3 Australian teams groups that are competing in this year's tournaments. Let's start off with Macarthur. Macarthur obviously gained their position through winning the Australia Cup last year, beating Sydney United in that final 2-0. And the first team they'll be coming up against is Dynamic Herb Cebu FC. The team from the Philippines qualified by finishing second in their league last year, but only lost the one game the entire campaign. Shan United FC is the next team in the group, and they're from Myanmar. They won their league last season and did one better than Cebu, not losing a game. And the last team in the group is Phnom Penh Crown FC. Crown FC is from the Cambodian League, and they gained their spot in the AFC Cup by coming through the playoffs after winning the CPL Championship group. So how do I expect the Bulls to do in this group? I expect the Bulls to do well, but if they do not get some key signings in, their Asian campaign could end very early, and especially if they perform like they did against Campbelltown City in the Australian Cup this year. Now onto the Mariners group. The Mariners obviously qualified by winning the Australian Championship last year after that emphatic victory over Melbourne City 6-1 in the final. And the first team in the Central Coast group will be Terengganu FC. The Malaysian team finished second last season in the league, only finishing behind Johor DT, who have won the league in the last 9 seasons. Onto Bali United, a team based out of Indonesia. Bali qualified for the AFC Cup after being knocked out in the preliminary round of the Champions League qualifying. And the last team in the group with the A-League champions is Stallion Laguna FC. The team from the Philippines qualified by finishing third behind Macarthur's opponents, Cebu, in last season's PFL. So how do I expect the Mariners to go? I think it'll be a massive disappointment if Mariners don't get out of this group. They're by far the strongest team in this group, and I think the Mariners have what it takes to go deep in the competition, so if they don't make it out of this, it'll be a massive failure on their behalf. Now that's both the AFC Cup groups done. Now let's move on to the AFC Champions League, where Melbourne City will be playing their football this year. And Melbourne City obviously qualified by finishing last year on top of the A-League in the regular season for the 3rd time in a row. Let's get into the first team they'll be coming up against, which is Ventforet Kofu, the Japanese team who was actually in the 2nd division of Japanese football, but won qualifying after beating Hiroshima in the Emperor's Cup final 2-1 last year. And on to the next team in Melbourne City's group, Barum United out of Thailand. They qualified for the Champions League after winning the Thai League last year by 12 points and scoring an impressive 75 goals along the way. And on to the final team in the Citizens group is Zhejiang FC. The Chinese-based team won their playoff to qualify for the tournament after finishing 3rd in the Chinese Super League last year. So on to the big question, how will Melbourne City perform in this group? I believe they should be making out of this group. They were unlucky not to make it out last year, losing out on goal difference. They should come into this tournament having that fire in the belly of not performing how they wanted to last year. I reckon they'll top this group quite easily. So there you go, there's my recap of the 3 groups the Australian teams will be playing in this year's Asian competitions. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.